Let's review the trading for Wednesday, January the 8th. In the AM briefing yesterday, I said this. If you remember mine, go look on the trading floor. We drew out this 74 level, and boy, look at that beautiful move. Okay, the two important levels right now are these two levels, that if they grab this liquidity, I will be going long. So how did that trade work out? Well, let's discuss it. Yesterday, about 3 o'clock, I made this post in the Discord group. I congratulated Pappy on a nice trade, and I said overnight target, question mark, question mark, question mark, outlining those two levels. And so when I was on the AM briefing, we were laddering up. At this moment, we would have said bulls were in control. Now, it did have a nice move off the level we drew inside of the Discord group at 73. It actually wasn't 74, it was 73. Went a little more than 73, but just a tiny, and then a beautiful vomit. So when I saw this happening, I went, I've got to get off here. I've got to trade. And I did exactly what I said, as I was going to take that trade if we grabbed this liquidity and go long. I did this in my Tasty Trade account in the group, and this was one of the screenshots. I was updating them as I was in that trade. I entered here, and in this particular post, I said I moved my stop up, and that's what you do is you follow price, and you capture as much of the move as possible. So I made these little notes over here for the Wednesday review, and we're going to talk about these things. So I got my favorite trade set up 3 times on Wednesday, which is really great. Of course it's great. It makes trading easier, right? So let's dial in here to these levels real fast. So here was the trade I was in. Okay. That was my entry right there. So let's go ahead and delete these levels. That liquidity is already taken. So when we started out on Zoom, just crazy slop and chop here. And then we finally had a move down to take the overnight low. There's my entry and there's my long. That's twice for that trade. And then while we're on Zoom, I told the group, I said, okay, if this thing comes back down and grabs this liquidity, this is another long. And the one trade I wouldn't be doing is going short when that happens. We are at a high time frame location where the bulls must defend. If they can't defend it, it's going to be a monster move down. It's going to be look out below. I was hoping it was going to be look out below, but that's not what happened. It laddered back in. And so got my favorite trade 3 times. The one that was set up in the AM briefing, here and here. I love that trade. So we can remove these things here. So one of the things I want to talk about with yesterday's trading is chop days versus trend days. Percentage of the days are trend days. What percentage of the days are chop days? In other words, what percentage of the time do we break out and keep going? 10%, 15%, 8%? No matter what percentage you give it, the preponderance of days is chop days. What does ES do on chop days? It takes out highs and comes back in. It takes out lows and comes back in. It takes out a high and comes back in. Herein lies your greatest probability trades. If you want to trade the edge, where is the edge? The edge is outside of a low and outside of the high. And because 90% of the time we are in chop, this becomes a primary trade. But everyone loves to trade the breakout. How can you be in a breakout? This is how you can be in a breakout. So it took out this low here, laddered back in, and let's say you were long. Who knows how far price is going to go? That could be the breakout move. I would rather be long here than I would be long here. Okay? Hoping for the breakout. Because if you're wrong, you're really wrong. Shorting here at the lows. If you're wrong, you're going to be really wrong. Okay? Price is going to move against you. What do? No big deal. Right here, I said, never let one trade hurt you. It's okay if you take that trade here to go short. I know some of my traders did. Roger made 2 points. Caleb was already short from right here and added to his trade here. In the add-on, he made break even. It's okay, but it's the harder trade to try to play the breakout. It was almost a legit level according to our system, but it actually was not a legit level with our system to be going short here. Next thing to discuss, know when not to trade. You see these red vertical lines in our essentials indicator. You can set it to where this is where I know I need to stop trading. This is where I know I need to stop trading. You can adjust those. This is New York lunch. This is the final 30 minutes. You can make it the final hour if you want it. But that way, when you're trading and this red starts printing, you're immediately knowing, okay, I have already agreed with myself. This is when I am not going to trade. I find in New York lunch, over many trades, I'm a net loser if I try to trade during New York lunch. Maybe I'm tired. Maybe I'm just hunting for a trade. Why am I trading New York lunch? I should have already made my money in the AM. For whatever reason, whether it's personal or whether it's our system, which it's not, I don't do well during New York lunch. So I learned I need to remove myself from the chart. So I will have these turned on many times. Now, I also have audio alerts that we use inside of our group. So these red lines I don't need. And also, this is when we end our Zoom. We end our Zoom on purpose at that time. We try to make our daily bread here. And in fact, we got 2 setups before our quitting time. It was beautiful. Now, I will add this. If during your no trade times, what's the one setup that you could do if you were watching during your no trade time? What's the one go-to A+ setup? Well, this would be it. It took out the IB low and we laddered back and you get long. Okay, that would be the one trade. Now, yesterday I gave out a homework assignment and said, so see this straight down move? It didn't respect any levels on the way down. What? So the homework assignment was, where was the first warning flag? What was the warning flag to not counter that move? I gave my answer last night at 5:07. It's since have gotten buried because Caleb and I was trading last night. I took a trade this morning, and so it's got a little buried. But if you'll go look at last night, Wednesday, January the 8th at 5:07, I posted my answer. How did you know not to counter that move? Now, if you did counter this move, you did go long. What's the number one thing you have to do? Proper stop loss management. Where are you wrong? And you take the L and you get out. Because if not, this thing moved 50 points this way. Okay? It can keep going. I promise you, there are traders who went long in this move here and added and blew their account instead of knowing where they're wrong and taking the L. Okay? Yes, this is laddering up. It certainly looks like a pullback's a way to go long. But we are in New York lunch. Things sometimes gets a little crazy. You don't have to trade it. You can be away from the chart, or you can say, what is my A+ number one trade if I'm going to watch it during a time frame that I really don't want to be trading. But if I get this killer setup, I will take it. So the key here is, did you take your L if you countered this? Did you move your stop? Did you add to a loser?
Loser.
Or did you just get out and wait for your next setup? Because what I want you to do, what it says right here, is keep your powder dry. So let's say you took a trade here and you ended up taking a 2, 4, 6 point stop loss. Who cares? You still have powder dry. You made that back plus way more in this move here. And you could have made it here. Jackie had a nice trade there. So keep the powder dry. Take the L and move on. Do not tie your entire day to one trade. Okay? Never let one trade knock you out and hurt you.
Sir, yes, sir.
So lots of good things I believe in this video. Go take a peek at that homework if you're a member of mine. If you're not a member of mine, check us out at microstrader.com. Get the free foundations course. If you register for that free foundations course, I'll also give you a free Zoom pass to come join us live, because anyone can say anything in hindsight, but can we do it live? Stay green, my friends, and to learn more about our group, go to microstrader.com.